People sadly are buying things to look good, to impress people they don't even know. And they're going into debt,
Exactly.
which is freaking sad. It's so sad. People are jealous.
Yeah.
So the word luxury came up before. You have to define what these things are. What's going to make you happy? You don't have money. You're in debt. You've got credit card debt. It's insanity.
Welcome to LUXEtalk, where we talk purpose, positivity, and all things luxury. I'm your host, Lisa Berg. And today we have with us Kathy Cuevas, is the financial advisor and founder of Financial Freedom Pathway with over 20 years of stock market experience. She began investing in rental real estate in 2007 and has over 15 years of experience teaching personal finance. Since retiring from her prior career in 2022, she focuses on coaching clients in budgeting, debt reduction, and long-term financial planning. Welcome, Kathy.
Thank you so much, Lisa.
It's great to have you on the show today, and our audience would love to hear what you have to say. And so I am wanting to know, tell us about your journey from educator to investor. What specific mindset shift allowed you to see the opportunity in the crash of 2008 while everyone else just only saw risk?
I don't think teaching had anything to do with it. I've always loved Monopoly as a child and always had hotels and on Boardwalk and Park Place. So it was just something, a childhood thing. My upbringing was extremely poor, very low income, single parent. So I never had any aspirations of becoming a real estate mogul or anything like that. I wasn't fearless during the crash. I did have some concerns, but I always was a money saver. So I had a lot of money in the bank until I learned how to invest it better later on. So teaching on the personal finance for my last few years before I retired, I taught them a lot about home buying, obviously everything A to Z, but home buying is my own personal experience, rentals and what you go through, what's the worst scenario, the best scenario. I really taught them a lot. And I've learned that since then, one of Warren Buffett's favorite quotes, and it's going to be really good right now. If you fail to plan, you plan to fail. I'm sorry, that was my classroom quote. If you fail to plan, you plan to fail. Warren Buffett says, when the market is fearful, then you be greedy. Right now, the market's fearful. Even today, there's a huge sell-off today. So when they're fearful, the stocks plummet, and then that's when you buy and pick them up at a bargain. But until you do your research on the companies. So the market crash you asked about, I bought my first rental and ended up within 2 years buying 3 rentals, all either for cash or financing one and then flipping it for cash and buying the next one. Or not flipping it, but taking money out to buy the next one. And I got 3 homes within 2 years that were originally valued at their peak between $250,000 to $350,000, and I got them all between $85,000 and $95,000.
Excellent. That's great. And so can you tell us how your background in education shaped your intentional, purpose-driven approach to your first properties?
In teaching, I taught my students to break down overwhelming concepts into manageable steps. When you approach investing, you have to be prepared rather than emotional. Like right now, I mentioned the market is emotional. When they are fearful, you don't buy or sell on fear. You don't do the same thing with the house. You don't buy or sell, oh, the price can go up, or I got to have this house. You don't do that. I want them to understand what I was doing, and I break it down into smaller steps. Okay. For my advanced finance class that I wrote the curriculum for, I taught them how to dissect, like I had learned, a company's books to find out if they have a lot of money on the books, if they've got debt, if they have big audacious plans for the future. Do they have everything that even if their price dropped, are they worth what it was before? And if it is, you buy when it drops. And right now is a really good buying opportunity for several stocks, but not just because they dropped. You really need to know the company business, and it's not that difficult. I can learn it. I think anybody can learn it, so it's not hard. So I just applied the same patient, long-term mindset to investing. I wasn't one of these like shows like Flip or Flop. I bought rentals to keep them, to have that future income. And right now I have, or I'm going to be having, because I just now sold 2 to buy one big one, which will eventually be my retirement home. But I'll have no debt. I will have no debt. I'll have 100% income coming in, other than, of course, paying either HOA or the garbage or minor things. So I've learned to be patient. I've learned to really look at the area. It's all about location. So if anything, you just have to know what's there What are you going to do with it? Is this a quick flip? Which I'm not against that, but that's not my philosophy. I want to buy and hold. And now I have not only my
Mhm.
pension from teaching, I've got a lot of rental income coming with us paid for wonderful vacations. I just got back from one a couple of weeks ago. I'm going on another one in 2 or 3 more weeks. So it's
Excellent.
subsidizing my dreams. I'm living the dream.
Yeah. Absolutely. I like to call that pajama money. When you have investments, it's pajama money and I call it pajama money because you're making money while you sleep.
Yes. I use that same thing, making money while you sleep in my class to my students. Make your money work for you, not you work for your money.
That's exactly right. So financial freedom is the ultimate luxury. How does clearing your debt and financial clutter create mental space necessary for a truly high-end empowered life?
Use the word luxury. I think we have the wrong definition of that. Some people think it's a designer
Okay.
purse, an expensive car. But like you mentioned earlier, sleeping at night, luxury to me is sleeping at night at well
Mhm.
because my bills are paid. I've got money in the bank. I know that if there is an emergency, I can cover anything. Sadly, many Americans right now can't even cover 500, much less $1,000 emergency. And that's like, I'm like, okay, got
Right.
you. Here you go. It's like nothing, but
Yeah.
people just don't think. They learned a little bit during the pandemic when savings rate went sky high. Now they've gone back on
Mhm.
credit card debt, and it's just crazy. We've hit the highest. I think it's like 3.1. I last read $1 trillion in credit card debt.
Wow.
That's scary. That turns like
Yeah.
So for me, financial freedom allows me to make decisions from confidence instead of fear. A lot of times people do things, and I
Mhm.
give you two good examples of fear factor. Somebody
Okay.
dies, let's say your spouse that you've loved and worshiped, whatever. Your
Mhm.
emotions are being played on by the funeral home. Doesn't he deserve or she deserve this casket or the expensive things that are going to go buried in the ground, right? The same thing with
Mhm.
weddings. They play on your emotions. Oh, my love of my life, blah, blah, blah. I need to have, oh, I got to have all these flowers. I have to have this venue. I have to have this much alcohol or whatever. They play upon your happiness or your sadness emotions.
Mhm.
And financial freedom
Mhm.
makes you helps make decisions free confidence instead of fear that your no emotions should never be involved in buying a home, buying stock, anything. I even manage my own retirement money right now. I fired my dude, saved that 1%, which is not a big deal, but if you look at it, if you have $1 million portfolio, you're getting over
Mhm.
$10,000 of your money a year. I was like, no, I can do it myself.
Right.
So I don't recommend it for
Yeah.
everybody, but I've taught myself over the years everything I've learned now, which I'm grateful for, and I just want to pass that forward.
That's wonderful. Again, you work hard for your money and you want to hang on to it.
Teaching wasn't working too hard, other than the hardest part is putting up with admin. But I loved my job until COVID. COVID ruined it for me. So that's not even a topic for this one, but I loved my job. And many can't
Yeah.
say that.
Yeah. No, that's very true. So, what do you think is the necessary mindset shift required for a woman over 40 to evaluate a residential lifestyle asset differently than a traditional fix and flip? What's your thoughts on that?
Some people, you got to stop asking, can I afford this? My budget for the home I
Okay.
just bought was 850,000. I paid 925,000 for this house outside of my budget. It's
Hmm.
not can I afford this? It's more like how does this support the life I want to create? And it will be
Hmm.
a phenomenal, probably the most expensive rental I have ever had. But also, it's my retirement home, and it had to be perfect for me. Most of my rentals, they're not junkers. They are like I would be okay to live in any one of my houses. I don't. That's the kind of properties I buy. But so just start asking, how does this support the life I want to create? This house is amazingly
Hmm.
beautiful. It's a little bit newer, but that's not an issue. But it's got the yard I want. I've got vision for putting the patio. I can see the life I want to create in this house, and it brings me happiness. So I have to think on the
Hmm.
resale value. Now, this again is going to be my only, hopefully, last primary home. But whether it's resale value or current value, does it meet your dreams? Does it meet what you want to create, the
Hmm.
life you want? So consider the quality of life and your future needs. Does it align with your long term goals? And of course it does, because the house I'm living in now is my 2-story home that I know that I can't live in forever, going upstairs and so forth. This one will become the next rental.
Right.
I'll keep it, but it'll be a rental. And it's only 10 minutes from the one I just bought. So it aligns with my goals. I'll still have the same rental income. I still have my life. I still have a house I can love and enjoy the property. So just view your home as part of your overall financial strategy. What does that strategy? Is it for your forever place? Is it to make you X amount of dollars? And if so, then you got to think about cost eventually, because if you buy a really high priced home and you don't have a lot to put down, then your mortgage is going to definitely take away from your positive cash flow. So there's just so many things you need to really look at and do your homework. Don't just buy blind. Oh, I got to have this house. Why do you got to have it? Why does it have to
Right.
be that one?
No, that totally makes sense. When it comes to building your lifestyle asset wealth, how do you personally see and approach these investments so they serve you both your daily luxury and your long term portfolio?
I already touched upon that one. The home I just purchased is my retirement home, and it's a perfect example. I purchased it through a 1031 exchange where I sold one of my other,
Okay.
kind of new. I bought it in 2016, probably the last one I think I bought, maybe. Anyway, so I'm doing it through a 1031 exchange because I would have had huge capital gains and had to pay an $85,000 tax bill. So I structured it as a
Mm-hmm.
1031 exchange. I sold another condo where I'm taking a loss. So this year's going to be fantastic loss on paper. I don't want to take a loss. You got
Right.
money out of my pocket. It's money off my taxes. So you have to
Mm-hmm.
know the whole strategy. For me, once that time period's met, like a 2 year, it has to be a rental for 2 years, then it's going to become my forever home. So it serves today's financial strategy and tomorrow's lifestyle. I'm getting rental income on it as soon as my escrow closes and I get it. I'm $4,000 a month income, just mine. And then the best
Mm-hmm.
investment sorts, it supports my life and my balance sheet. I'm going to look great in deductions this year. So I see this year as being a huge Roth conversion year for me. But wealth should enhance your life, not just exist on paper. I don't buy the Gucci designer. I
Right.
can't even name the designer other than Gucci or I don't need Ferrari or something. Those aren't in my mouth because I need a car for transportation. I don't waste my money foolishly. And if you look at a lot of like the Millionaire Next Door book, my neighbors have no clue what I've got. I'm just like anybody else. I bought this
Right.
house as a single woman. They had no freaking clue what I had, and they've got mortgages, and I don't. I will now be more. They have no clue. They're all buy this, look good for the neighbors. People sadly are buying things to look good to impress people they don't even know, and they're going into debt doing it, which
Exactly.
is freaking sad. It's so sad. People are jealous.
Yeah.
So the word luxury came up before. You have to define what these things are. What's going to make you happy? Is that Gucci purse really going to bring you
Mm-hmm.
happiness, or is it just to show to, oh, I've got money? Like, you don't have money. You're in
Mm-hmm.
debt. You've got credit card debt. It's insanity.
Exactly right. Exactly right. So, how do you feel that women can balance a curated luxury lifestyle today with aggressive savings required for long term independence?
You don't have to give up choosing between enjoying today and preparing for tomorrow. All this time before I retired, my last 6 years, I was maxing out my retirement accounts, maxing out an extra Roth IRA on the side, saving money beyond that. I was probably living on 40 to sometimes 50% of my income. And I went on vacations, not as many as I
Mm-hmm.
do now because I was stuck between school calendar. But I took vacations. I maybe didn't go to Europe or something, but I went to Hawaii. I went to Florida, places I enjoy. People could enjoy the desert. That's
Mm-hmm.
great. But I got to do what I loved and prepare for my tomorrow by saving as much. So always spend intentionally. Like I said, I don't go buy a Gucci purse. I try to use coupons everywhere. I got extensions on my computer giving me money back for things I would have bought anyway. It's just truly using money smart. So decide what really matters to you. Cut the spending in areas that
Okay.
doesn't align with your values. Like for example, the $5. And I'm just using cheap $5 Starbucks every day because you got to have that cup at your desk. That costs you thousands of dollars a year. And people don't. It's only $5, but it's really not because it's really probably really seven. And then you always have to feel bad if you don't tip. So that's just minimal. It's just save first. You have to save for you first. Enjoy the things you love because you've planned for them. Like I'm enjoying travel. I put away $1,000 a month for my travel, and I didn't even use it all this year. I've
Mhm.
already been to Asia for 3 weeks, and I've still got a lot of travel
Wow.
because I know how to plan carefully. I don't just buy an expensive thing from blah blah blah. I know how to use my money wisely. So financial independence is built through consistent choices.
Exactly. Exactly right. So, how do you think that reframing your budgeting as investing in freedom would change your daily financial choices, like for a modern professional? What advice would you give them on that?
I do this with my clients as well. Don't see budgeting as restriction. In fact, I taught my students this. We did a monthly budget, and I actually have one free for anybody who wants one with the video. But don't think of it as a restriction. Budgeting is mainly, some people look at it as how much can I spend here or there, but it's telling your money what you want to spend it on. A lot of people, you hear, oh, it's my spending plan. That's more pleasant to the palate. So I think of a spending plan. It
Mm-hmm.
simply tells your money where to go. And I mentioned before, the
Mm-hmm.
first thing that you should tell her where to go is for savings. You need to start saving because nobody should care about more money about you and your future than you. So savings must be the top of your list. I mentioned before, I already saved before retirement 40 to 50% of my income I was living on. The budget just tells you where money would go. It reduces stress because you have fewer surprises. You plan for
Mm-hmm.
emergencies. You have that emergency account, and I've got mine probably more padded than I need to. Typically, I say back in the day, it was like 3 to 6 months. I now, because of COVID, now because of inflation, I say plan for 9 months because companies are still going out of business. And these big tech companies, they're laying off hundreds of thousands of people. So
Right.
having that confidence in your budget, it creates clarity. Every dollar becomes a tool to help you build the future you want, not the one somebody plans it for you, not the one you happen to be stuck in because you didn't plan better. It gives you choices and better options later. I learned that the hard way. I wish I would have known what
Mm-hmm.
I know now way earlier.
I think COVID taught a lot of us lessons that we didn't want, but we've learned a lot from things for
Yes.
sure. So, can you tell me, like, how has achieving your financial independence allowed you to show up more intentionally for your community and your philanthropic goals?
It's allowed me to help other women, and reason I focus on women. I've helped men too. Don't get me wrong. That on my website, men's testimony. But I focus on
Yes.
women 40s and above because 40s was my turning point from drowning in debt, almost losing my home, getting credit card debt from a divorce. That was the horror part of my life. I was in the abyss and I
Mhm.
saw no way out. So that's where I come from. That's my passion to help people either avoid that because 40s is about the age women go through these things. It's either divorce, empty nesters, or health issues, or college and retirement. What do I pay for? So I coach without judgment because I've made those very same mistakes myself and I've made tons of them. It's just learning from
Oh, haven't we all?
them and not making the same ones over. But you teach a kid, don't touch the fire, don't touch the knife because it's sharp, you get cut, you get burnt. But, and you might do that as preventive, but people don't think about finances as preventive. They learn like I did, and most people the
Mhm.
hard way. So my point of view in my coaching business is to help you avoid those things. If you're not in them,
Mhm.
see me. I don't need financial help. Fine, see me to invest for your future because have you thought about your future? So just helping women gain
Mhm.
confidence with their money has become part of my purpose. I've done volunteer work at churches I've been at, belonged to before. They volunteer in financial ministry.
Wonderful.
I've got a close friend at church that I greet with that I love, and she's at the other end of the spectrum. She's in subsidized housing. She's by herself, doesn't make a lot of money, watches her
Mhm.
grandkids. I've actually bought her some furniture she's wanted. She's more than grateful. I hope she doesn't see this, but
Mhm.
maybe put her in my trust as well. I love helping people.
Mhm.
When you've overcome challenges, you naturally want to help others do the same thing. And mine comes from a true passion, not money, because I certainly don't need any money from anybody's coaching. I do because I want to help people.
Exactly, exactly. I actually pray the same prayer that God would bless me so I can bless
Yes.
others. And I feel that's coming from you too, which is absolutely wonderful. So, can you tell me how leaders in the luxury scene use their platforms to promote purpose driven wealth over simple aesthetic consumption?
Again, I'm not going to beat it up, but you have to redefine luxury. Luxury should align with your values.
Yes, I
Leaders
agree.
can normalize conversations about saving and investing. Success just isn't about appearance, flaunting I've got the Gucci. That doesn't mean nothing. It could be a knockoff. Who
Exactly.
cares, right? You don't care, but
Exactly.
they're thinking. So
Yep.
true wealth provides security and choices of freedom. Legacy matters more
Hmm.
than image. And whether you give
I
your
agree with
legacy
that.
to your family, whether you give it to church, my church is getting a good chunk of my money. My family won't even need by the time I'm done. But I told them to plan
Hmm.
on it, especially one of my daughters doesn't financially plan it. She's at that age. She's 39 now about where I lost my stuff. She's losing her stuff and will not listen to mom. So just listen to somebody. It doesn't, I know people want to hear mom. So just listen to somebody, whether it's this podcast, listen to YouTube's, just do something that doesn't cost you anything and know that what you need, and then go find someone that can meet that purpose.
And I think you're so right too. Like luxury is so different to different people, but the real true luxury is leaving a legacy for your family. And it's not about like you said, designer things or this or that or flashy, whatnot. It's financial security where you know that, hey, you're safe no matter what the world throws at you. And that to me would be an ultimate luxury.
It's also values. I was raised in church by my mom. I raised my girls in church, and that's super important. So they've got that value, and
Absolutely.
that
Yes.
I don't want to talk religion here, but having God in my life has helped
Hmm.
all the hell I've gone through. And I've been through
Oh
so
my
much.
goodness.
I've been told so many times, you should write a book. They don't know how I've come back from everything I've been through. I've literally been through hell multiple times as a single parent,
Hmm.
as a
Hmm.
married person through a horrific divorce. I've seen it all. And I just want to help people get through those times. It's to become a passion to not make people or not have people have to suffer like I did through various trials of my life.
That's wonderful. Wonderful. I can relate with you on that too. I was a single mom for 15 years and raised my girls in a Christian home. And I literally went through every, like you say, being through hell and back. I have been there. I've been through the divorces, through all the things. And it's the only thing that got me through all of that was God Himself.
Yeah.
So I really have a respect and appreciation for that because it is not easy to be a single mom and to struggle. And I think too, when you've been on that side of it, like my passion is helping single moms. So like I help out single moms in our church and do things that way because I have a huge heart for the women that are single moms and single dads too. But just I really have a passion for those that are just trying to figure it out on their own. They've gone without, I have gone without for so much of my life, so much of my life. But I truly believe that I was kind of like refined through the fire so that I could go come back with buckets to help put out everybody else who's still going through it. And I truly believe that nothing is wasted. And even though it's hard in the moment, I believe that God has taught me so many wonderful things through the struggles. And I do believe that it does refine us and makes us better. If and people that don't go through trials and tribulations cannot relate, but if you have been there, man, you know exactly what I'm talking
I
about.
don't know anybody who hasn't gone through one trial, much less.
Yeah.
No, you're not escaping it. It's just what do you have to get you through it? Do you have God?
Yeah,
Do
you're
you have the
exactly right.
emergency account?
Yeah.
What do you have? No,
Yeah. Yeah.
if you don't want the God part, then you've got to have at least the emergency account, but even that's not guaranteed. So it's just, this is about personal preference. Like I said, I'm not here to preach religion. I'll take you where you're at. I
Hmm.
love that you and I are probably exactly the same bookends. So like
Yeah.
it's perfect. We both have struggled. We both have learned from our mishaps. And what does it
Hmm.
make you, what is the say? What does it make you weaker will make you stronger if you turn it and use it for a right purpose.
Absolutely. Absolutely. Turning pain into purpose. I think that is huge, especially if we have to learn hard lessons from our past, let us at least learn from it, right? So we
Yes.
can help others.
Yes. It's the ones that are on
So
that scare me.
yeah. So tell me, what's the definite roadmap for listeners to ensure they're building a lasting legacy of liberty rather than just a career? Can you give us your insights, your professional opinion on that? If you were to give them little takeaways, shoot, what do you got?
Well, especially if they're means, but even if they're not, number one, I'd have to say is live below your means. And that gives you that savings money. Eliminate unnecessary debt. My husband years ago cut the cable. We didn't, not out of affording it, but he goes, we don't need this. And I go, no, my channel changer guide. And I found one online that I could use. And now the newer TVs, this has been years though. So just eliminate
Right.
unnecessary debt, whether it's Starbucks, whether it's cable. If you don't hardly watch it, is it really worth paying for it? Invest
Hmm.
consistently. That's huge. Once I started, and when I first started after my abyss hole I got in after divorce, I started investing in a 403B plan through vendors that come through my school district at $10 a month. But I started
Wow.
$10. Another guy came to the
Wow.
school. They're coming all the time, but I paid attention to that guy. $25 for his company. So I have 10 here and 25 there. But I started and it was consistent out of my paycheck. Never saw it, couldn't spend it, it was gone. So definitely invest consistently. With my emergency account, I have an online bank. I happen to use Ally. And I have different suffixes, like one is my emergency account, one's my future car account, one's my Christmas fund account that I've spent over Christmas presents. So Christmas and stuff has never surprised me. And then of course my vacation fund's the biggest one, $1,000 a month, because I like nice vacation. But I've got the
You have to put that money in there for the vacations. That's important.
money. So again, build that emergency account, build the emergency fund, protect what you build, teach the next generation what you've learned, pay it forward. And I told that to my students. I worked at a Title I school, extremely low income. 95% of those kids were qualified for free lunch and breakfast. I said, all I ask you guys to do is just, I don't care what grade you get in my class, teach your parents what you're learning here. Most of them didn't even speak English. I said, pay it forward. Like you and I, we've helped people. You like helping single women. I've done the same thing with my friend I mentioned earlier, buying her some furniture she couldn't afford. But focus on progress, not perfection. Nobody's perfect. Even me today, I make money mistakes. Not, thank God, not big ones, and I can bail myself. What do I do? But you will always have mistakes. But being knowledgeable will make them less, as long as you progress and focus on progress. And then small decisions over time help to create extraordinary results. My $10 a month got me to be a multimillionaire by the time I retired. And I
That's
only
wonderful.
did that for my last 10, maybe 15 years, because I retired at 62 and I started probably mid
Okay.
40s. So, like in just over 20 years, I went from rags to riches because of intentional.
That's
I
so good.
focused on learning. I learned about stocks. I learned about the market. My sister was in real estate. I saw mistakes she did, so I tried not to make those. So I
Mhm.
just was very careful, intentional and careful.
Yeah,
And savings always came first. Pay yourself first.
that's such great advice. Such great advice. So, as possibilities are always unfolding, how are you currently evolving your own definition of a well lived life?
I'm not really sure if this fit me or not. I know I've heard it from clients that success used to mean having more. To me, it's
Hmm.
not even, money's not even tangible for me for success. Today's
Hmm.
success means having enough. And that word enough is the clue. Is enough for me a multi-million dollar mansion, or is enough for me to just have a roof over my head? Enough peace, enough security, enough time to enjoy the life I've built. I busted my buns at work saving once I learned the hard way. I saved excessively. Now I'm enjoying those wonderful vacations and paying for all of them for me and my husband. I have the freedom to choose how to spend my time. I can stay in bed till noon if I want on my
Right.
phone, but I can do what I want, when I want, however I want to do it. And that's peace. To me, that is
Hmm.
success. Being able to do that.
Hmm.
Helping other women realize too that it's never too late. 40s is not too late. 50s is not too late. But the longer you wait, the harder it's going to be. And you'll end up having to save. And luckily, I had the ability to, not even making six figures toward the end of my teaching, I was able to save
Hmm.
that much money because I lived, as I mentioned before, well below my means. I've always
Hmm.
had paid off cars. In fact, I paid cash for my last car, and I'm paying cash for this biggest, most expensive house right now. But that's because I'm selling to others and using money I have invested. So
Exactly.
that's peace. That's comfort. That's
Hmm.
your legacy. That's just everything.
And I think you get there by first making the choice and then just implementing that discipline at the beginning when you have struggled, and then you kind of start to see yourself come out of that. Okay, what am I going to do different this time? How am I going to change it? How am I going to make it better? And how am I going to make sure that those old patterns don't repeat themselves moving forward?
Yes.
Which is wonderful. So, can you tell our audience today where they will be able to find you and how they can contact you for your services?
Great, thank you. The best way to find me is my website, which you see right above my head. It's financialpathway.us. From there, you can subscribe to my email, contact me about a free 30-minute phone call. Maybe I can just give you advice on what to do, and that's all you need. All my socials are there, so you can see like videos, posts I post. I post 3 times a week, plus I do a weekly newsletter with all kinds of advice for any stage of investing or saving, whatever. It's just a wealth of knowledge. So I would just recommend going to my website, troll all over it. When you see something you like, stop and pick it up and do it. There's a lot of free resources also.
Wonderful. That's wonderful. Wonderful. And I truly believe that successful women help other women succeed. So you obviously have that personality, Kathy. And I appreciate you coming on here today and talking to us. And Thank you so much for your time, and I hope that you have a wonderful week.
Thank you, you too. It was a real pleasure. I just hope just if one person gets something they can learn from, it's all I ask when I go to learn something new. If I just get one tidbit from that seminar, it's worth it. So if you get one thing from this, that would make me happy if one person is helped by this.
Wonderful. Thank you again, Kathy. Thanks for listening to Lux Talk, where faith leads, luxury inspires, and life is elevated. If you enjoyed this episode, subscribe, rate, and review the podcast, and share it with someone navigating all things luxury. For more luxury insights, market education, and elevated conversations, follow Lux Talk, turn on notifications, and join us for what's coming next. Stay elevated, stay informed, and stay connected with Lux Talk.